I'm Kemi Olunloyo, Dr. Kemi, retired journalist. One of the things I want to say about freedom of speech in Africa and the cybercrime law is that the cybercrime law does not give you freedom of speech, which is in the Nigerian constitution, okay, and also the Ghanaian constitution. Both countries are sister countries, and I studied those constitutions very carefully. Both countries have cybercrime like laws. The cybercrime law in Nigeria does not allow journalists to work. Even though you want to arrest somebody that defamed you or allegedly defamed you, at the same time, it's affecting journalists. Several of us were arrested for this, our lives threatened, and much more. And many of us fled the country. The cybercrime law does not allow journalists to do their work. There are politicians who have had journalists, bloggers arrested because they felt they were defamed. So the best thing to do is to eradicate and erase the cybercrime law, okay, and let everybody take any form of defamation, libel, and slander to civil court, because these are civil cases. And this is why there are no journalists left in Nigeria. More people are going to die because of this. Nobody to report any insurgency or anything. I practiced for 31 years, and I would never practice any such thing in Nigeria again, because even the people you're trying to really give exposure to via stories, they don't care. So at the end of the day, Nigeria is going to be a government without journalists. In other words, a government without media, or a media without a government. That's how Nigeria is going to end up. Or citizen journalism. And I don't know how they're going to do that back home. I am going on 62 next year, and I'm done with that whole journalism stuff. Okay, and it's a sad thing because the new generation will not even have any idea of information. And that's why the cybercrime law needs to go. Take all these lawsuits to civil courts. I was arrested under that cybercrime law. Pastor David Ibiyomi, whose case was dismissed in federal court and he had to withdraw in magistrate court. There's a lot of misconception about what happened. I went to Ibiyomi's church to do a testimony only because I had an agenda at the pulpit of that church, to lay a curse on whoever sent me to prison. But everybody seems to watch the video and didn't really get what I said in the video. They said I went to beg Ibiyomi in his church. I didn't go to beg anybody. I actually went there on a day Ibiyomi was not even there. He was in seclusion. And then I wanted to go down and hug his wife. Everything was misconstrued. When I tried to go down on that pulpit and hug his wife, the person that was doing the testimony did not want me to go. So go watch that video again and see where they cut it. Okay, there was an edit right there. When I finally got in front of Ibiyomi's wife, she was sitting down and I bent down by kneeling in front of her and hugging her. So people thought, oh, she went to kneel and beg Ibiyomi. Some said she went to kneel and beg his... Do you know what we spoke about when I whispered into her ears? No, you don't. You should be asking me that. And you can see Kenneth Okuko on the sides looking at me. You know, the enemy is always within. He tried to get me assassinated 3 times. And when I confronted him after the case was over, he apologized. And I forgave him. And then he died in a botched plastic surgery, liposuction, a very disgraceful death. If you haven't read the story of what happened to me with the Port Harcourt case, everybody in that case either died or something horrible happened to them. The IGP went mad, everything. The thing about me is I've always told you guys I'm spiritual. If you mess with me, something within me sends God to you. Okay, but in the journalism field, nobody needs a cybercrime law because we won't be able to tell the truth. Okay, the 4 journalists arrested by GT Bank, Segun Agbaje went and arrested them because they found fraud, corruption inside GT Bank, 1 trillion naira. He had them arrested. Obviously, he had something to hide. And when I did that video, I posted it on my platforms. Agbaje went all the way to get all the social media platforms to block my video from Nigeria. Meta declined, TikTok declined, but YouTube had to block my video. Why? Because YouTube they have a clause that you need to read in your agreement that says they might remove a video without any notice due to local laws. And a local law in Nigeria is the cybercrime law. You need to know how things are done. Every penny that I lost in that video from my monetization, GT Bank is going to pay for it. Trust me. All right, there's 6 years for statute of limitation. So they better get ready for my lawsuit. You can't hide the truth. I'm sorry. You just can't.